So if I've read this correctly, that with Mission Park, you were initially given the script a few years ago, and you were auditioning for one role, and somehow you now are still in it as an actor, I believe Agent Ortiz, but you're the producer now. How did that all transpire?
I was actually working on another film in San Antonio as an actor, and Brian Ramirez, the writer-director of Mission Park, crashed the wrap party. I guess he came with someone who he knew was involved on the production. Yeah, you know, we Latinos, we crash a lot of parties. So he crashed the party, and it's a small community in terms of the filmmakers there. So he knew that I was there, and I had already, at the time, had Band of Brothers on my resume, and Resurrection Boulevard and Star Map, so he was well aware of my career. And he came up to me and said, "Hey man, I wrote a script," as many people always do. And his pitch was different. He's like, Nicholas Gonzalez, who worked with me on Resurrection Boulevard, Nicholas Gonzalez read it and loved it. That was his pitch to me. So I was like, all right, well, if Nicholas loved it, I'll check it out. So he gave it to me. He's like, yeah, let me know what role you like. And I read it. It took me a while to get to it because I was busy at the time, and I just, I'm slow at getting to scripts. It's a bad habit of mine. But when I finally did open up the script and read it, I went straight through it. It was just an easy read, and I really enjoyed it, and I loved the characters' backstory. I thought they were phenomenal, and just seeing these kids and seeing what happens when characters make choices and why, like their history really propels these choices, I believe, or initiates these choices. And that's what connected me to the story. And one of the characters I loved the most was Derek. So when I called Brian, I said, I loved your script and I really love this role. It wasn't the lead character, it was sort of one of the leads. And that's the one I connected with the most. And so I gave him an LOI, letter of interest, so that he could go around pitching to investors that I was attached, along with Walter Perez, who was the first actor to ever get a hold of that script, outside of Nicholas Gonzalez, who's from San Antonio, Texas. So here we had 2 actors and 1 director attached to this project. And I said, call me when you have the money, I'm down. It just sat around for a while until Jeremy Ray Valdez called me. He had achieved success at Sundance with La Misión, and said that he said that there were investors interested in funding his career, investing in another project of his if he had one. So he called me, I sent him Mission Park, he fell in love with it, and he was perfect for Bobby. And that's the role he connected with. So now we had 3 actors and 1 director. Brian needed a producer. That's what this project needed. Directors and actors, aren't really the ones to make this happen. Producers are. They really get behind it. They put everything together and package the project. And that's what Brian needed. At the time, I had already done about 3 or 4 short films that I produced and directed. So I was like thinking in the back of my head that I was ready for a feature. And I felt that I could be the producer for Brian that I wanted for myself when I was directing these short films. I felt that I could be that producer. And so we had a conversation about it. I said, look, you need a producer. I've produced a couple of short films. I think I can do this film. And also I want you to achieve your vision and not have Hollywood alter that, because they will. And he said, sure. We agreed to it, and I took it and ran with it, and now I'm running all the way to September 5th, which is our opening day theatrical release, so we're excited.